and demographics with unique collectibles sure to bring any collection to life, no matter the budget. Visit Capital City Sports Cards near 56th and Old Cheney or through their eBay storefront. Capital City Sports Cards, Lincoln's premier sports card and memorabilia store.
Not many businesses can say they've made it 60 years, but Madsen's Bowling and Billiards can. With 12 bowling lanes and the biggest pool room in Nebraska, where else would you go to enjoy an afternoon or evening? There's a great daily specials like $2 Tuesdays, games of bowling, shoe rentals, draft beers, and tacos, all just $2 each. Have a delicious burger at EJ's Lounge before or after your bowling or pool session, and you'll leave satisfied. Madsen's Bowling and Billiards at 47th and Dudley.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
You're spending $300 a month. Binge drinking is the most common form of excessive drinking, which costs the United States more than $191 billion each year. By drinking less, you will save $300 a month. If you or a loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for three! You're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Presented by NEPCO. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Welcome to On the Block. It is another day, and this is the original segment that is going down right now of the OGs, Strick and Bach. Back in effect. It is another day of On the Block. Wow, I'm doing it remote. I'm here still out here in heading out of Atlanta tomorrow. But right now, Bach, man, it's truly a pleasure to be with you on the block once again. Thank you for joining me in the absence of Austin. Again, condolences to Austin, who had to go away for his the passing of his grandfather. So. We send our love and our thoughts and prayers to him as well. We also thank NEPCO for their support of our show. NEPCO and constructors are continuously hiring for all positions with immediate job openings for laborers, mechanics, bridge builders, operators, and driver. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. Visit NEPCOinc.com or constructorslincoln.com for any of that information and details. They're also hiring CDL drivers. So if you're looking for a CDL for ready mix concrete, jump on the board with that as well. NEPCO is a sponsor of our show, so we're greatly appreciative of them. Let's get into this. Listen, it is going to be a great day. I think we've got a great segment in store for everybody today. We're going to get started because we don't have much time in this segment. But I did have some thoughts about some things we talked about yesterday. And what we were doing yesterday, Bach, is we was going over just the NFL, the NFC, the AFC, and just some of the things to look out for, how we feel about each of those specific teams that we talked about. And one of them that was brought up was the Patriots. And we talked about the Patriots and their pursuit of Brandon Ayuk. It has now come forward that they will not pursue Brandon Ayuk. They're deciding to forego that and look at a lot of their young talent. What they've done is that they've decided to rely on their draftees. They ended up picking up Jalen Polk and Javen Baker. They had 5 picks in the first round of this draft, and 2 of them were receivers. And so I said, I don't think it was a good idea to pursue Brandon Ayuk. I said, I think you should just go ahead and focus on the rebuild, not knowing how you're going to pursue your quarterback situation. There's not stability there at this point. There's still kind of a battle going on for the quarterback position. And so I think you just focus and just start rebuilding from scratch, start looking to draft better, start looking to bring in some free agents and looking at some of these methods, man. What's your initial thoughts on the not pursuing Ayuk? And do you have any particular reason why you wouldn't do it? Because I felt it should have been something that they do in going young and just trying to rebuild.
Well, yeah, I think their timeline is kind of reset here with a new coach in Gerard Mayo. I think as long as you had Bill Belichick in town, and I know they already kind of had a different timeline, right, with them, but there were going to be expectations, and so I think with Gerard Mayo taking over, obviously they used a high end draft pick on Drake May. It kind of restarts the expectations and the timeline for your program. But yeah, I mean, obviously there's value to getting one of the top receivers in the NFL, which Brandon Ayuk is a rising receiver. He's been getting better year after year. Had his best season last year with over 1,300 yards in a dynamic offense with a lot of weapons around it. Might be a little bit different in New England, as we saw with Juju Smith-Schuster last year. Maybe not quite the player he had been previously in his career, but again, that's different. That's Mac Jones. That's the previous coaching staff with the Patriots are doing now. But they're not a team that jumps out to you as far as, okay, they've got a lot of skill position players that you got to look out for, as far as tops in the NFL. So, I could understand the idea, why they were kind of looking around at it. If he's available, maybe that's something you could do to kind of jumpstart it and certainly give Drake May, if he does become the starter and expect to become the starter at some point this season, reliable weapon and a big time weapon that he can use. But I would be a little bit hesitant if you're going to pay top dollar for him once again, because I'm not sure if he is a product of that system with the 49ers. Not completely, obviously, but he has jumped up to be the leading receiver. But it might be a little bit more difficult when you are the guy to scout, right? Instead of Christian McCaffrey and George Kittle and all that goes along with being in San Francisco. So, I agree with you. I think it's probably not worth, putting all your eggs in that basket. The 49ers is kind of interesting. They're leaving out the potential that they could bring him back for the final season of his contract. He's going to get a big one for him. I understand why he's, like we just said, coming off his contract year, why he's pushing for more money to get the long-term bag. But if I'm a Patriots fan, I don't know if that move makes me feel like it, you go from a 4-win team to a playoff team or something like that. I think you're kind of, with the trajectory they're on, you're kind of wait and see if you can get more out of your roster with the new coaching staff than maybe what is expected, or at least, it's just kind of one of those, like I said, wait and see. You never want to hear that as a franchise, but you don't know what you have right now. So I don't know if you have to panic to make it better.
Yeah, and that's what I was talking about, and we're not going to harp on it too much because I think there's true understanding, and it's not necessarily something that is a major thing, but it was just something that was interesting because that's basically the take that I had. Also, before we go to break here, I wanted to throw this out because it has now come down that Jim Harbaugh, former coach at Michigan, is now with the Los Angeles Chargers, is been given a suspension for a year and given a 4-year show cause penalty by NCAA for recruiting violations. And so with that, Bach, I saw that coming. I knew that they were in trouble when all of this stuff went down. I definitely knew it. I just knew they weren't going to. And I did this to Austin. I said it's about the money. I knew they weren't going to do anything while Michigan was making their run last year, and obviously they ended up with a championship. But now we see that there has been the allegations that were put down has now resulted in a recruiting violations. The penalties were announced on Wednesday. They are not related to the Connor Stallions situation. And so there's still, I think, more balls to drop in this. It is a 3-game suspension that will be served the start of the season. for the NCAA investigation and recruiting violations during the COVID dead period. That's what it's for. You don't see Harbaugh ever making a return to the college ranks. Pretty much he'll probably just go into the great good night at this point. He accomplished what he was supposed to accomplish. It seems like he left the trash for those to come in who were coming in to take over. But do you see a fall guy situation here, or do you ultimately just say, you know what, it's just part of the deal, and it's just NCAA kind of covering themselves and making themselves look like they're doing something?
Well, they did come down pretty hard on him, and that's awful easy to do when he's already gone. So, I mean, I think that, if this was from 2020, you have to wonder why it took until now, and the NCAA does take a while sometimes to really drop these heavy punishments that, and this is kind of going to be part of the Jim Harbaugh experience and legacy there at Michigan. In Ann Arbor, they don't care. They're going to cheer. They're going to celebrate. They won a title, and why would they? But from the outside, he already had to sit, suspensions. He had to sit out several games. He's leaving the program kind of with, the Connor Stallions thing going on. So it is what it is. But to what your point earlier, and it hurts me to say this, I'm more of a college football fan than an NFL fan. I think Jim Harbaugh was great for the college football, but you just have to ask yourself, why would he come back to college football? Jim Harbaugh will have to be desperate in order to come crawling back to college football. And in that situation, is the Michigan job going to be, or maybe if Michigan needs a hero, maybe you go back that route again. But I think we're about 95% sure his goal has been accomplished. Not only did he win a championship, he won a championship at his alma mater. So what more is there to do in college football? Meanwhile, in the NFL, he still, had that late at halftime in the Super Bowl. The lights went out, didn't happen. His brother took it home. So yeah, he's kind of got that out in front of him. He's moved on. The NCAA coming down here just kind of looks, it's just silly because at times they come down hard on people, and at other times they just kind of let them go. To come down hard on somebody that's left, maybe he's just trying to make the NCAA look like they're flexing their muscle a little bit, but there's nobody there to receive the punishment.
Yeah, that's the wild thing about it. But ultimately, it is what it is. It's going to be what it's going to be. My question is ultimately going to be, how is Michigan going to recover from it? Like, are they going to be able to kind of wisp it under the rug and just kind of move on? Or is it going to, bootstrap them for some years to come, 2-3 years, especially with an expanded Big Ten now, with the expansion of the Big Ten? Where is it going to put them in the totem pole of the hierarchy of the Big Ten? And we'll see. I mean, it's going to be interesting to watch and see how they recover. I think last year they used it as fodder to propel them. They used them to unify them. They used this whole situation to unify them. But what's going to happen now? What's recruits going to say? How are they going to feel about it? And that's still yet to come. So we'll keep our eye on that. But we're going to go to break right now. We're going to come back with Evan Bland. We'll talk some Husker news and some Husker recruiting with him. We'll be right back right after this on the block, 937 The Ticket. We'll see you then.
This is area race announcer James Rowland. Join me and Bree Fansteel every Sunday night from 7 to 8 on 93.7 The Ticket for The Finish Line, where we cover all things motorsports from local racing to racing around the world. Every Sunday night from 7 to 8 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Constructors is now hiring for all positions, with laborers starting at $23 and up based on experience. Constructors has immediate job openings for laborers, mechanics, bridge builders, operators, and drivers. Start your new career today. Constructors offers great pay, health, dental, and vision insurance, paid time off, paid holidays, and so much more. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. For a complete list of openings and to apply online, visit constructorslincoln.com.
Hey Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, two-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
All right, it's time for Final Jeopardy. It's been a tight contest today that all comes down to this final question. No summer picnic or family get-together or trip to the lake is complete without this particular item. Let's go first to Bob.
What is beer?
No, that's not it. Think about the kids. Over to you, Farley.
What is corn on the cob?
Tough to grill that on a boat. Wrong again. Grace, this time for the win.
What is Bureau's cheese spread?
We have a winner! Bureau's cheese spread, available in most local grocers in Nebraska. Ready to add a dash of Southern flavor to your week? At Wings and Rings, their brand new Southern fried wings have arrived for a limited time. Indulge in the irresistible goodness of large, traditional bone-in wings coated in a crispy beer batter and fried to perfection. Try them with hot honey or any other sauces. And for those busy summer days coming up, look no further than their Southern Fried Wings Family Bundle. Wings and Rings, 2 Lincoln locations on O Street or Village Lane.
The Mill Coffee and Tea, formerly with only 4 Lincoln locations, now 5 Lincoln locations. That's 25% more locations than there used to be. Can you even imagine a world where there's only 4 Lincoln Mill locations? Feels like ages ago. We were all so young then. The Mill on 11, located right alongside the 93.7 The Ticket Studios at 1040 O Street.
Keep summer green with Judson Bylene and Judson Irrigation. More than 40 years ago, Judson Irrigation started taking in orphans. Lawn sprinkler systems installed by a quickie, cheapy summer job, install 'em and forget 'em outfit long forgotten. Call Judson Irrigation. They'll never forget you.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Have you ever gotten a car deal so good that you can brag about for decades? This is that deal. The government has given us a $4,000 in instant credit on vehicles already at the historically lowest prices. Cars that were over $50,000 just 2 years ago are now selling below $20,000. See the deals here and drive away the car of your dreams at a price you never thought possible. Go to 4000off.com, 400off.com to learn more.
Hay season is a race against time. Win that race with an all-new 1 Series round baler from Landmark Implement. The all-new John Deere 1 Series round baler is a revolutionary leap in baler technology that captures near real-time moisture and weight data that can be analyzed through Operations Center to improve your bale quality and farm efficiency. Are you ready to upgrade your hay equipment? Contact your local Landmark location for full details on the new 1 Series round baler and experience the Landmark difference.
Everyone should have a collection of something. For some, it's stamps or coins, expensive cars, or even watches. But for a lot of people, it's sports cards. And there's no better way to grow your collection than with the help of Capital City Sports Cards, Lincoln's first and only collector-first sports cards and memorabilia shop. Capital City Sports Cards connects collectors of all ages and demographics with unique collectibles sure to bring any collection to life, no matter the budget. Visit Capital City Sports Cards near 56th and Old Cheney or through their eBay storefront. Capital City Sports Cards, Lincoln's premier sports card and memorabilia store.
HealthLink is elevating the human experience with holistic health, weight loss, nutrition, fitness, and wellness solutions. They offer one-on-one health coaching while personalizing nutrition and wellness plans for structure and simplicity. HealthLink provides nutritious foods such as high-protein entrees, meal replacement snacks, and supplements. But that's not all. If you mention 93.7 The Ticket, you'll get a 5% discount on your order and $20 off your first month if you start a HealthLink subscription. Find your missing link with HealthLink today on the southeast corner of 70th and Pioneers or by phone at 402-858-9356.
Our lives only have so much time. But if you smoke, you have less. Your life could be 10 years shorter. And the time you do have is often filled with health problems. Shortness of breath, asthma, COPD, and cancer. But the minute you quit, your body starts healing.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see mainly sunny skies and warmer temperatures with the high around 88. Tonight, a chance of showers and thunderstorms with the low around 66. And tomorrow, a continued chance of showers and storms, otherwise partly sunny with the high around 79. I'm meteorologist Kyle Kleck for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are back on the block here on 93.7 The Ticket. I am happy to be back with Strick as we had made our maiden voyage, our official journey on the block with myself and Strick a while back. But now, as well as back then, we were bringing in Evan Bland to talk some Husker sports, and he joins us on the Allo VIP line. Evan, how's it going?
Hey, guys. Doing all right. How are you?
Oh, good to hear. Not too bad. Of course, Husker Nation could be feeling a little bit better after the most recent news of a couple guys being lost for the season. Roger Gradney maybe was a little bit expected after people went to the Big Red preview and saw his injury there. But Teddy Prohaska, of course, the big one, as Nebraska is still kind of trying to piece together that offensive line. How big of a loss is Teddy Prohaska for the season for the Huskers?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's certainly unfortunate. And it is. It's a big deal for a guy who has starting experience in each of the last 3 seasons, a guy who was pushing to be the starting left tackle for Nebraska. Now, you talk about the Big Red preview, what we saw from the offensive line that night was Turner Corcoran at left tackle, and then Teddy was with the second group. But really, those two, I think, essentially were kind of a 1A, 1B sort of thing. So you lose depth there, obviously, from a personal standpoint. I mean, Teddy's already had an ACL injury to the other knee. He's gone through shoulder surgeries, so this will be his 4th major medical procedure that he's coming back from at Nebraska. And I think, it was made all the worse, too, when you think about he actually spoke with reporters a week ago and said, man, he'd made it through an incident, through spring incident-free. He had kind of left his rehab behind him, and it said he was in a really good place mentally, ready for the season. And then, it's just not fair sometimes how it plays out. So you feel terrible for Teddy. But as Matt Rule and a lot of the other coaches and players said, it's, you support him and then you turn to the next guy up. And it looks like that's Turner Corcoran, who has a ton of experience at Nebraska in his career. Gunnar Gatula appears to be maybe that number 3 tackle who could be a factor in as well as a redshirt freshman, in-state kid from Lincoln Southeast. So you don't want to absorb too many of these sorts of injuries, but I think you would say that the offensive line does have some depth. You still have guys like Henry Latufsky waiting in the wings too, as guys who can be rotational players. So I think Nebraska can absorb it. Certainly it didn't want to. But I think moving forward, it still feels like that offensive line can be a strength of what this offense wants to be.
Appreciate you and your commentary. But listen, Nebraska's been busy. They've been busy in the 2025 recruiting class, looking to land 4-star defensive linemen Malcolm Simpson and Cade Pierzak. Pete Zrak. Oh, gosh, I'm blowing his name. Forgive me on that.
But is actually how it's pronounced.
How's it pronounced?
Pet shock. Like you're surprised to see a pet. Pet shock, I think, is actually how you pronounce it. Amazing name. Thrown off by that. Also, a blue chip running back Jamarion Parker and a 4-star quarterback in TJ Lateef. Now, we know they've been busy and they still have some high hopes on some other ones, 17 commits up into the cycle. But I want to ask you specifically, give me 3 guys that you've been kind of eyeing and been watching that you think could be a nice impact player that we can land and bring in if we're able to seal the deal. 2 or 3 guys that in the 2025. Yeah. Yeah, sure. I mean, the obvious one would be David Sanders, who's down to Tennessee and Nebraska and Ohio State and Georgia. He's going to announce, I believe it's August 17th. So just the fact that the Huskers got him back on campus for a visit with Dylan Raiola around, with some of the fans that showed up there on the east side of Memorial Stadium, I think that'd be a game changer for sure when you talk about one of the top offensive linemen in that class. I don't know that you would necessarily call Nebraska the favorite, but I think they've done a lot of work to be in that final group, maybe a co-favorite with Tennessee at this point. So that one, I think, bears a lot of watching. And I'll give you an in-state one too. I mean, I think Christian Jones, the West Side linebacker, is someone who is set to make an announcement sometime probably early next month. And he's, down to Nebraska. He's visited Auburn and Oklahoma. I think Miami is still part of his top group as well. That's a kid that Nebraska's put a lot of time and effort into, someone who's pretty familiar with the program. And then you talk about just all the West Side kids that have come to Nebraska and flourished in the last year or two. That's an interesting one too, because you kind of look at the future of that linebacker spot, especially middle linebacker for Nebraska. John Bullock's going to be gone after this year, and Javen Wright, same sort of deal. Mekhi Bears, becoming an upperclassman. So you're going to need that next kind of group or generation of linebackers. And I think, having an in-state kid who's that accomplished, who's just, by all accounts, a really strong character add too, that's somebody that you'd love to get, for all those reasons that could be an impact player down the road.
I did want to ask you too about Tom Chattel's article saying Nebraska needs to walk a fine line between raising NIL money and turning off fans, because it is an interesting an era. I mean, Nebraska, almost somewhat shockingly to me, also just kind of cut off. It's a cashless society in Husker sports now, as you can't use cash. So it's definitely a changing world, as we know in college football, changing world in general. What are your kind of thoughts about that, as we've seen so many different of these NIL events and different ways to raise money? Of course, the Big Red Preview, I think it was a success. But what are your thoughts about that? As fan day is always something that people look forward to. Certain schools are going to basically charge for autographs, get NIL, and all that stuff. What are your thoughts as Nebraska has to kind of tiptoe down that line?
Yeah, I think at some point you have to be at least aware of the idea of donor fatigue, and we're really just kind of starting to see what that's like, because NIL, of course, is just a few years old, and so there was a lot of novelty to it early. There were a lot of money thrown around. Maybe that the market value just hadn't really set itself in a lot of ways, and so you're getting to the point now where at a lot of places, and maybe you could include Nebraska in this, you've had donors who have given money for NIL efforts, and they haven't seen the return on their investment that they've been looking for. And if you donate other ways, if you're a big time donor, you might get your name on, a college, or you might get your name on something. But with NIL contributions, it's to this point, at least, it's been a little bit more ambiguous, where, you might be funding the acquisition of a player that doesn't turn out, or he's on a team that struggles, or whatever it might be. So I think Nebraska's smart to realize that its fan base has been a resource through thick and thin. It's a fan base that has continued to support the team in even these leanest of years, but you don't want to go to that well too often, where you're asking them to pay for things, especially before some of the results have come back. So I think they've been smart, and that rule is said. They've made an effort of making sure that events that have been free continue to be that way, especially things like Fan Day. But you still need to be creative in finding new ways to raise revenue. And so, I think they probably expected more than the turnout that they got, 3,500. It's a nice starting point. But, ultimately you do the math on that, it's just shy of $90,000. That's probably going to buy you a decent 3-star offensive lineman, maybe. Like, that's kind of what that is. So, there's a lot of shopping to be done. It's an area that is still growing, that is still new. So they're still working through things. But I like the idea that you can't, or maybe you don't want to be reliant on just a handful of major donors. You want to find a way to get more people involved, maybe at a smaller dollar amount. And so I thought that was the smart part about the Big Red Preview, was you were able to attract more fans, and they did a good job at the event of making it entertaining by miking up coaches, having some interviews, having the punt catch competition at the end, little autograph session with the black shirts. So they made it worthwhile. I think it's something that'll continue to grow, but I do agree with my colleague that it's not a well that you want to go to too often.
Last question that I would have, and unless Bach still has one more to throw your way, but I want to just go maybe a little bit deeper to see if we found out any more information. Obviously, we know that Isaiah Mosey's father is Jamar, has joined the Nebraska staff. Tremendous athlete, playmaker, over 1,000 yards last year in his junior season. It's a 14-yard catch per catch rating. The young man is very talented out of the Kansas City area as well, and they're looking to gain traction there. But what is any further details on Isaiah Mosey and the potential flip from Oregon?
I mean, I haven't talked to him specifically, but I think you do see a lot of smoke there that with his dad in the fold at Nebraska, that's someone you definitely have to watch here down the stretch. A talented kid, like you mentioned. Oregon doesn't just take anybody, so that would be a major flip if Nebraska's able to pull that thing off. And it'd be a cool family deal where Mosey, with all of his abilities, would fit into what Nebraska wants to do. I think he, in some ways, kind of fits that positionless player profile that Matt Rule and company like to have, where you can split him out wide or line him up in the backfield or get creative with how you use him. But I would say his dad, Jamar, too. I mean, he's somebody that Matt Rule identified as someone that he wants to have on the field coaching his players here in practice, somebody who potentially could be, maybe a recruiter for this staff, depending on how things go. And you look at Matt Rule's track record with hiring guys like that, it's pretty good in terms of guys who maybe got that first break and then moved on to some pretty big things in their career. So I'd watch both father and son. We'll see if son decides to come to Nebraska officially. I think it seems like the odds are pretty decent that could happen at some point. And, I think if it does, Nebraska's found itself a pretty potent family duo there that can, help Nebraska with what it wants to do on the football field.
Well, there it is.
Yeah. One final question real quick with Evan Blaine on the LVIP line. I did see that former Husker quarterback Tommy Armstrong calling it a career after a successful career with the Omaha Beef, but he's got some surgery coming up. He's 30 years old. I just kind of think of him, and, last time Nebraska was in a bowl game, it was with Tommy Armstrong, so you get to the point where now he's retiring and all that. Is it a similar deal with like Bo Pelini? I think the longer that bowl drought goes, the longer, we get away from that era without similar success, the more their legacy grows. Him and Pelini, I guess.
Well, first of all, I mean, that's a crazy way to frame it, that the last quarterback to lead Nebraska to a bowl game is retiring from football. Wow. But, I think so. I mean, when I think of Tommy Armstrong, I think of a guy who had his share of injuries, but was durable mentally. Like, he pushed through it. He was the offense a lot of times when Nebraska struggled. He wasn't perfect, but he was always worth watching. Always someone who you never knew what he'd play was going to happen that day he was out there. You talk about a 4-year starter who has a lot of career offensive records for what Nebraska has. I think it's an interesting discussion when you start talking about like the success of the Pelini era and things like that. Like, while that program was certainly competitive, one of the things I think about is how much the Big Ten has changed in that time. I mean, 10 years ago, Northwestern was kind of a shell of what it became in the years that followed. Purdue was not a good team. Illinois was not a good team. And those teams have become flush with resources and cash and have had coaching upgrades and all the rest. Like, the Big Ten is so much deeper, I think, week in and week out now than it even was 10 years ago. It would be fascinating to me to see how a Pelini team from that era would fare now, when it does seem like every week, there's no off weeks in the Big Ten the way that it kind of seemed like there were at that time. But you absolutely got to tip your cap to that era for sure. And, they did things that these teams now would do. If Nebraska goes 7-5, people are going to throw a parade after the way the last 7 years have gone. So, I think you enjoy that time, and when you talk about it, it probably just creates that inner yearning for a return to what used to be.
Absolutely. That'll wrap it up with our interview with Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald. Thanks again, Evan, for joining us today.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
All right, there he goes. Excellent interview. We got to get out of here, take a quick break. We'll be back on the block here in just a few minutes on 93.7 The Ticket.
If the week's been too hectic to even think about dinner, or your family can't handle one more night of leftovers, then it's time to let Hog Wild do the cooking. Hog Wild's family packs are one heck of a good deal for a complete barbecue meal loaded with all the smoked meats, tasty sides, buns, and sauces you need to feed your family. Order online at GoHogWild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
As a proud member of the Roofing and Solar Reform Alliance, Coalition Restoration stands out by providing thorough property assessments, personalized customer service, and top-notch craftsmanship. With years of experience in the industry, Coalition Restoration has built a notable reputation for having a team filled with skilled professionals and possessing the expertise to handle any roofing project, big or small. Visit their website today for a free roof assessment at www.coalitionrestoration.com or give them a call at 402-607-8186.
NEPCO is hiring CDL drivers for Ready Mixed Concrete, Husker Concrete, and Beatrice Concrete. NEPCO offers great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and they pay for CDL training. Apply today and start your new career with a $2,500 hiring bonus. From NEPCO's beginning in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
Hi, everyone. Kendall Warnock with A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. If you're looking for an automotive repair facility you can genuinely trust, we would be grateful for the opportunity to earn your business repairing your vehicle. We have ASE master technicians and qualified to work on a variety of vehicles from Hondas to Porsches, Jaguars to Toyotas, and Chevrolets to Fords. We pride ourselves on customer service and relationships, and we would be grateful for the opportunity to serve you. Give us a call at 402-477-4660. A1 Automotive. Always honest answers.
The weather is hot, the kids are out of school, and you're on your way to the lake and summer road trips. Are you getting to your vacation spot comfortably, or is your car letting you down? Mullen Motors Lot is full of great vehicles to take home, so you don't have to worry about your current car barely surviving another road trip. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Layton and find your next ride for summer road trips and beyond. Mullen Motors.
No tag-ons, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
The Mill Coffee and Tea, formerly with only 4 Lincoln locations, now 5 Lincoln locations. That's 25% more locations than there used to be. Can you even imagine a world where there's only 4 Lincoln Mill locations? Feels like ages ago. We were all so young then. The Mill on 11, located right alongside the 93.7 The Ticket Studios at 1040 O Street.
It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier Kawasaki dealership. Score up to $2,000 off the brand new Kawasaki Ridge. Built for work or play, the Kawasaki Ridge takes off-road comfort to a whole new level. Rule the streets on an Indian motorcycle with customer cash and trade-in credits up to $2,000 during the month of August. On or off-road, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered with a large selection of motorcycles and side-by-sides in stock at their new 27th and I-80 location. Hurry in, the clock is running down.
The internet headache always starts in the contract. Buffering, hidden fees, connectivity problems, regular outages. What a pain in the asterisk. But there's a cure and a way to stay connected, headache-free with Allo Fiber. No contracts, no secret fees, no robots repeating the same thing over and over. Just fast-acting, painless internet, doctor's orders. Break free from fine print misery. Switch to Allo Fiber now to get real speed and support simplified. Visit allofiber.com/breakfree to switch today.
Everyone should have a collection of something. For some, it's stamps or coins, expensive cars, or even watches. But for a lot of people, it's sports cards. And there's no better way to grow your collection than with the help of Capital City Sports Cards, Lincoln's first and only collector-first sports cards and memorabilia shop. Capital City Sports Cards connects collectors of all ages and demographics with unique collectibles sure to bring any collection to life, no matter the budget. Visit Capital City Sports Cards near 56th and Old Cheney or through their eBay storefront. Capital City Sports Cards, Lincoln's premier sports card and memorabilia store.
Hay season is a race against time. Win that race with an all-new 1 Series round baler from Landmark Implement. The all-new John Deere 1 Series round baler is a revolutionary leap in baler technology that captures near real-time moisture and weight data that can be analyzed through Operations Center to improve your bale quality and farm efficiency. Are you ready to upgrade your hay equipment? Contact your local Landmark location for full details on the new 1 Series round baler and experience the Landmark difference.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red. Are you tired of the same old entertainment options? How about something that's truly fun for both kids and adults? Nebraska Knockerball, the new place to go for your private and corporate parties. Step inside one of their inflatable spears and let out stress in a healthy form of exercise. Or try the human foosball, foot darts, yard pong, giant beer pong, basketball Connect 4, and much more. Nebraska Knockerball, specializing in physical, engaging fun. Call Nebraska Knockerball today at 402-460-8724 to learn more or book a reservation now.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is where it happens. Long hikes with friends, kayaking adventures with family, more horseback riding, zipline gliding, rock face climbing, hammock camping fun than you could ever imagine. And it's all outdoors, amongst the trees and across the prairie, here beneath Nebraska skies. Plan an outing today at yournebraskaadventure.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to On the Block. Welcome back to On the Block. Not Austin, but Strick and Block. Yes. Second half of On the Block. We're going to start real quick. It's going to be a quick segment because the Olympic men's basketball team, they're not a redeemed team. They're going out just trying to basically reestablish dominance over the world. They've now found themselves in the Final Four. They're going to face off against the Jokic-led Serbia team. And on the other side, you're going to have Deutschland against France. And so it's going to be interesting to see if they're going to be challenged like people maybe thought they would have, being that the world has gotten better. I've always talked about Serbia. If that block could have kept themselves as Yugoslavia, how dangerous they could be if you had Jokic and you had Doncic and just a litany of talent out there in that space that's now been split up and they're not able to play together, but they're actually individual countries now. So they're not going to be as dangerous, but still any Jokic-led team has the potential, if they shoot the ball well, to cause problems. But real quick, Sauter Heyman text 9-402-464-5685. First, the question is, do you think the United States will be challenged? We saw what happened in exhibition parts of things, some of the challenge that South Sudan gave to them, other teams, France and others as well, but they happened to pull it off. Does any of these teams in the Final Four challenge the United States? And if that is so in your mind, who is it? Do you think can really give a scare to the United States, if there's anybody? 402-464-5685 for your thoughts as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. And I think, too, when you look at that dream team, I know in 92, they played like 6 NBA players the rest of in the Olympics. Now you're playing a lot of them. You still don't have that depth, though. Like the USA still has not only a roster full of NBA players, but a roster full of the top talent. And I like what they've done in general, because I did want to ask you, too. I know maybe you guys talked about this when Brian Windhorst said that the Celtics could probably win the gold in the Olympics. And, the Team USA has kind of went with that because they saw what the Celtics did and said, okay, maybe we don't need the best players, but players that can kind of fit in roles. And, so you borrow Derek White, Drew Holiday, and get that going. So, I think there are some teams. Germany certainly has played well, won the 2023 World Cup, and Dennis Schroeder has kind of taken over. He's a bit of a different animal, kind of like Patty Mills once you get to international play, a little bit better than their NBA versions of themselves. But again, even their third best player is Daniel Tice. So, I think there's a chance that you get into when you get into these like single elimination type of tournaments, there's always a chance for an upset, but you just need a whole lot to happen. I think you're talking about a 7-game series. Nobody has a chance against Team USA, but like you said, perhaps in a single game, it could happen. It's still hard to see. I think France probably, to me, has the best roster or can be close to it, but they're even having to tingle with that. I mean, they had to bench Rudy Gobert, put Evan Fournier on the bench. Maybe Fournier is better off the bench anyway, but they've got a guy in the dancing bear, Gershon Yabusele, who used to play for Boston, couldn't quite cut it in the league, and now is doing really good overseas. So, again, I just don't think that these teams necessarily have the depth. You might have the best guy on the court in Serbia's case with Nikola Jokic, which can always give you a chance, but their difference in that team when they take him off the floor as opposed to when they have him on is so different. And then the other thing, are they going to run the offense through him? Because they haven't necessarily done that at all times.
Yeah, thanks for that take, Bach. We've got some on the Sauterhammond text line. I see you. Know that I see you. We've got to take another quick break to get back on schedule, but we'll come back. I'll address some of your takes on that specific question of who will challenge the United States. You can also jump in, chime in 402-464-5685 into that part of the discussion. Who is it that would be able to challenge? We'll get those takes when we come back. And when we come back for the second hour of On the Block, we're going to talk a little bit also about just a lot of things, some Olympic news and things that are happening out there. Are there any surprises? Records are being broken. Greatness is being displayed. And who is that for you? What has surprised you? And then we'll talk about some of the negative things probably as well of the Olympics and what's been going on out there, especially in Olympic Village. We'll do that when we come right back on the block after this.
Are you tired of the same old entertainment options? How about something that's truly fun for both kids and adults? Nebraska Knockerball, the new place to go for your private and corporate parties. Step inside one of their inflatable spears and let out stress in a healthy form of exercise. Or try the human foosball, foot darts, yard pong, giant beer pong, basketball Connect 4, and much more. Nebraska Knockerball, specializing in physical, engaging fun. Call Nebraska Knockerball today at 402-460-8724 to learn more or book a reservation now.
HealthLink is elevating the human experience with holistic health, weight loss, nutrition, fitness, and wellness solutions. They offer one-on-one health coaching while personalizing nutrition and wellness plans for structure and simplicity. HealthLink provides nutritious foods such as high-protein entrees, meal replacement snacks, and supplements. But that's not all. If you mention 93.7 The Ticket, you'll get a 5% discount on your order and $20 off your first month if you start a HealthLink subscription. Find your missing link with HealthLink today on the southeast corner of 70th and Pioneers or by phone at 402-858-9356.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today. A new school year is here with summer coming to an end, and it's time to get into proper shoes. Brown Shoe Fit is the place to buy this August with their sale on athletic shoes. Get $15 off any regular priced athletic shoe with respected brands like Hoka, Brooks, New Balance, and On Running. Don't forget, Browns carries a large arrangement of sizes and widths to fit your feet properly. Start the fall season off right with the August athletic shoe sale at Brown Shoe Fit, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln.
Have you ever gotten a car deal so good that you can brag about for decades? This is that deal. The government has given us a $4,000 instant credit on vehicles already at the historically lowest prices. Cars that were over $50,000 just 2 years ago are now selling below $20,000. See the deals here and drive away the car of your dreams at a price you never thought possible. Go to 4000off.com, 400off.com to learn more.
It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier Kawasaki dealership. Score up to $2,000 off the brand new Kawasaki Ridge. Built for work or play, the Kawasaki Ridge takes off-road comfort to a whole new level. Rule the streets on an Indian motorcycle with customer cash and trade-in credits up to $2,000 during the month of August. On or off-road, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered with a large selection of motorcycles and side-by-sides in stock at their new 27th and I-80 location. Hurry in, the clock is running down.
The internet headache always starts in the contract. Buffering, hidden fees, connectivity problems, regular outages. What a pain in the asterisk. But there's a cure and a way to stay connected, headache-free with Allo Fiber. No contracts, no secret fees, no robots repeating the same thing over and over. Just fast-acting, painless internet, doctor's orders. Break free from fine print misery. Switch to Allo Fiber now to get real speed and support simplified. Visit allofiber.com/breakfree to switch today.
Our lives only have so much time. But if you smoke, you have less. Your life could be 10 years shorter. And the time you do have is often filled with health problems. Shortness of breath, asthma, COPD, and cancer. But the minute you quit, your body starts healing.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Are you looking to get into the electrical construction industry or wanting a new scene? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
All right, it's time for Final Jeopardy. It's been a tight contest today that all comes down to this final question. No summer picnic or family get-together or trip to the lake is complete without this particular item. Let's go first to Bob.
What is beer?
No, that's not it. Think about the kids. Over to you, Farley.
What is corn on the cob?
Tough to grill that on a boat. Wrong again. Grace, this time for the win.
What is Bure's cheese spread?
We have a winner! Bure's cheese spread, available in most local grocers in Nebraska.
Hey, it's your girl Jordan from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. It's official. Wedding season is here. And we know that every detail counts. From bridal party gifts to the finishing touches for the bride and groom, discover our exclusive selection of watches and fine jewelry. Did you know we even offer in-house engraving? Celebrate your special day with a personal touch and a timeless gift they'll cherish forever. Until next time, this is Jordan at Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Happy shopping, guys.
Old School with DP and J.
Can Nebraska have a player-led locker room in year 2 under Matt Rule?
I think it could be in year 2. I always say this. We had great captains every year I was here. But I always say some of our best leaders weren't necessarily our captains. So I think when you have that, that's a player-led team. So it doesn't matter how old the quarterback is.
93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for 3! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Presented by NEBCO. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
block. But it is definitely a time to discuss this particular issue that we're going to get into today. And that's what's happening out there in Paris. We know that the Olympics is in full swing. It's winding down pretty soon. It'll be over with. Athletes have worked their tails off, their butts off for preparation of this. 4 years. You get there, you're excited, you're hyped, you're ready to go, and then you have to deal with the issues and the problems that are going on out there. And you have to ask the question, you build a $1.6 billion Olympic Village only to find out that you're dealing with air condition issues. Some are talking about bed bugs and bugs and insects all in the room. On top of that, you're talking about heat. People are working their tails off, running, rowing, ping-ponging, whatever you got going on. It's something that there's an exertion of a lot of energy, only to come back to your room to find out that you don't have no AC. So they're finding all the things. People are hightailing it towards hotels. The men's basketball is rumored to have moved into a $15 million facility. Some say that's over extravagant. Coco Gauff had made a reference of the fact that she's sharing a bathroom with 15. There's 2 bathrooms, 15 to 18 ladies are sharing. They're giving tours of how small and cramped the facilities are. People are hightailing it to hotels, which it's only 5 girls, she stated, that are in the cramped space, how cramped they are. On top of that, you're having busing issues. They're having issues to where trying to get to your venue, it's like some of them are saying it's roughly some places 10 miles, 5 or whatever, but they're having troubles getting there. Some people are talking about worms in the fish. Some people are talking about how long the lines are that they have to eat. They're bringing in their own chefs. They're not getting the nutrition that they need. And it's a debacle. It's something that's hitting behind the scenes that we don't necessarily hear about, but we're going to talk about right now. What is going on? And my question then becomes, who is going, how is this going to hinder the Olympics going forward? Is there going to be some backlash out of it? So forth and so on. But before we do that, let's get to some of the discussion that you guys had. Dirty Tony and the boys talked about the Final Four and who is possibly the ones that's going to challenge the men's Olympic team in basketball. He states that he thinks it's Serbia. He thinks that they're good and they aren't scared to play a physical style of ball, which in some instances could handle. I think the Americans have done a good job of doing that. And Bach talked about the depth of them. So that is one thing. Thanks, Dirty Tony, for sharing your thoughts on that. Trent on the Sauter Heyman text line as well states that they don't stand a chance. USA, baby. Yeah, that's his comment. Thank you guys for chiming in on those answers as well. But let's get back to the topic. Paris, debacle, Bach. Is it going to hurt them going forward? Is this news going to spread even worse than what it is? It's like it's been mentioned weeks ago, but it's kind of died out now. But I don't like it. And you know, like some of these athletes and what they're giving in their sport, to be, in a sense, malnutrition when you're some of the most highly decorated athletes in your sport, that's crazy to me. To include, how can that affect the psyche of you in preparation? We know that people are talking about, I'm gonna get to this one second, but we know that there's others that are saying there's some sabotage going on in this realm as well. So what's your take, man? Like, can they recover from this?
Yeah, it's certainly not a good look. It's something that happens, often in Olympic Village, unfortunately, because, any of these mass celebrations or where you bring all these people together, just so many people to house. But like you said, I mean, you feel like you've made it. You are the representative for your country at the Olympics. As an athlete, that's it. That's the goal. And
pinnacle. That's the top of the line wine, Bob.
Yeah.
It's the high top fade on Kid and Play's high top. I mean, it's the top of the fade.
That's where you think you're just get grapes fed to you and a golden, spoon or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's not exactly like that at the Olympics, and that's unfortunate. And there's some places where you kind of think, well, maybe they can't quite afford to put all that together. But Paris, you would think that it could be a little bit better done. But and I would encourage anybody, like you said, if you don't like kind of what's been provided to you, many of these people are well off enough that they can go and find some other housing, but it's not the case for everybody. So it's very unfortunate. A lot of the stories, I mean, there's so many people. It's like a football team. You can't have that many people come together and not have a few interesting stories come out of it. You're not going to have all choir boys and gals down there. So there are a few of those stories coming out too. But it's just frustrating. And then when you think about, we've learned over the years and how important sleep is and getting in the right, not obviously sleeping comfortably can really affect these races. And you're going for world records. You're going for gold medals. You'd like to be more prepared or better prepared from the host city. Maybe it might hurt Paris down the line as far as hosting another, Olympics down the line. That's long down the line. These things are well planned out. But it's just unfortunate to hear as a fan of the Olympics.
There's been some talk too, Bach, man, that there was some potential sabotage in the women's 100 participants. I did see a video where Shelly Ann Fraser Price was sitting on the bus and they were trying to just enter to the practice track. You also had Sha'Carri Richardson trying to do so prior to their event, and they wouldn't even let them in. And it's a lot of this stuff that's going on too. People are talking about credentials. It's wild to know of how that can affect your psyche, like you just said, because you're trying to focus all of your energy and your mind space to doing what you said. One, being the top dog in the sport that you participate in, and to not be able to stay within your routine. That stuff can throw you off. Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's just frustrating because if, and most people, whether you do it at the Olympic level or at, the gym down the street or whatever, you do understand that, and if it starts to get into your head, it can start kind of manifest its own problems. So you do your best to try to say, okay, that didn't affect me, right? That's not what's going on here. I can get back on track. But if you continue to struggle, then you continue to look back, okay, well, I really didn't get a good night's sleep last night. Maybe I should have went to the hotel or went to, found something else to put myself in rather than sleeping on some cardboard that they gave me there. So it is frustrating. I will say, there are still people setting records and, getting it done. So it's not like it's an obstacle you can't overcome. But, even if it bothers a few participants in the Olympics, it's just frustrating because, that's going to be their story when they go back and tell it is, I just really wasn't real taken care of. I wasn't in the right headspace. And, because of that, maybe didn't feel like I put my best foot forward.
Could this be one of those things too, Bach, where you've been tested in your mettle, right? One of the things I think we may get into on WTF tomorrow is talk about how doping and how people really go the extra mile to try to put themselves in a situation. The struggles that they have to endure, even back in their home country, maybe just finding facilities or just doing, getting there. And so you would expect to come to a thing like the Olympics and it be the grandiose of anything that you would experience. But that's neither here nor there. Let's go a little bit deeper. For me, it's your mental fortitude, your resilience. All of that in this situation would seem to have to come forward even more when you're dealing with all of these things in what they've been dealing with in Olympic Village, right? Either it's going to propel you. So I think probably countries that have better means, better food options, better accommodations. Who do you think it hinders more in that situation, right? Because I think you have to have a strong mental fortitude in order to overcome some of that stuff, right? Malnutrition, for what you need, because you might need a certain amount of calories. Like I saw an instance, one of the wrestlers had to go to the hospital because what's her name? I got her name right here. I can tell you who it is. The Indian wrestler, she was disqualified from the gold medal game. And the reason she was disqualified is she had overweight. So she's in the 50 kilogram. She missed her weight, but in doing so, she literally almost killed herself, like not eating, not drinking, going into wrestling matches that way. And just think of now how she feels in that she's gotten to this point, and now she's got to the final. She's not able to get anything. She's considered to be the last.
Yeah.
How do you even compete after having? But that's the mental thing that you have to endure.
Yeah, and it's especially that, like you said, I think it was Vinesh Phogat, who is, was in the finals, and so was medaling. Whether she won or lost, which was going to be huge for India. I think I had read, at least for their wrestling team, that was going to be huge for them. And now, I don't like that rule. Like, I get it. I mean, and there's different, wrestling people would maybe come on here and say, making weight's all part of it and all that. But you already wrestled your way to the finals. How do you go from that to being last? I mean, that's frustrating. And then, but that's kind of a problem too, just in wrestling and making weight. I mean, I don't know if that's necessarily, and I'd have to look into it, how much of that is on, what was, was provided to her or available to her. But, it's hard to hear that she was end up being hospitalized, trying to make weight, to, not to do what she would accomplish, went there to accomplish, and should have the chance to. But at the same time, again, that's just part of wrestling. You got to be able to make weight.
You got to be able to make weight. Yeah, I mean, the fact that you're drawing blood and I mean, you're doing all these methods to try. I mean, God,
you're trying everything.
Yeah, cut your hair. You're doing everything to try to make it. But that's tough, man. But there's a movie that I just think about, because this is the only thing that I can think about to try to imagine what's going on right now. The picture that I have in my head. There was a movie back in the day, Bach. I don't know if you've seen this. Maybe the listener. It was called Animal House, right?
Okay.
And it just how wild it was. I can assume that some people were saying it's loud, it's boisterous. You're not able to really get sleep. There's probably some partying. I saw that one field hockey guy. Gosh dang it, what's his name? It just dropped. I might have it. There was a guy that played field hockey. Oh, I can't find it. I thought I had it, but you guys would be able to find it if you want to look into details. But there's a guy that played field hockey that was out, got arrested for looking for some cocaine.
Hey, that's not
hey, I guess they're trying to figure out anyway, because some people say that when you're on that stuff, like, you don't really require food and you're able to just kind of so for me, like, did he feel he didn't get enough? He felt he wasn't getting enough food, so he's like, let me go get some of this and just kind of give me the perk I needed to get through. I don't know, man, but it just seems like it's Animal House to me. How they recover from it is going to be interesting to see. What stipulations they're going to put on them going forward to any other host city at this point. It's going to be hard to say. I mean, you've got controversies from the boxing situation with now they're not releasing information on what they're considering to be two men that are fighting in the women's box. I mean, it's a treasure trove. Like, I would hate to be on the committee at this point. I would hate to have any affiliation or association to anybody that's working with the Olympic Committee or even connected to it at this point.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes on to it, and so sometimes it's just easier just to follow the basketball side or some sport that's easy to understand, doesn't have weight restrictions or anything like that, but you got to look out for anybody trying to take shortcuts, trying to provide their country with a gold and to propel their own career. that's always something to look out for. So it's interesting. United States is leading the medal count, I know. And so, it's always fun to sit back and cheer for the United States, as we heard off the text line as well. But it's just part of it. But I know you were going to talk about this, just in general is the cheating aspect of it. And there's certain athletes that get caught. There's certain athletes that do it and don't get caught. And so that's just kind of the risk you take.
There it is. Wow. Any things that you've heard, we're going to just throw one more thing out there. 402-464-5685 before we go into our next break. My question to you guys and the last thing, has there been any surprises? Has there been anything you've been excited about as you watched it? Some would say that the U.S. women gymnastics back in the all-around winning it. Simone Biles dominating again. And, then you talk about swimming and, just all of the records, and Sydney McLaughlin is still yet to come off and do her thing. Noah Lyles is the first American in a long time to pull off the double of the men's 100 and 200. So what is that one thing, Bach, that you observed in this Olympics that kind of made you excited, or anything that was kind of an off, like you're like, hey, surprised by?
Well, you like the underdog story, right? And then you like an American underdog story, and that can be hard in the Olympics where the Americans are generally favored. But and sometimes running or distance running, that's not the case. And Cole Hawker, I think, maybe has the surprise of the Olympics so far to win the 1500 meter final four. The American had to get past a couple favorites from Norway and Great Britain to do so. So I think that's probably a story. The American underdog story. How can you not love it?
Yeah, I would have to agree with you. On the Starter Heyman text line as well, Brad says, yeah, he agrees with you, Bach. The men's 1500 was definitely was a great story to observe. That was something to be proud of as well. Big Bird says that the U.S. also agreeing with you, getting on the podium alone is a big deal, but in the 1500, usually, which is dominated by certain people, and sometimes you look over into the African continent, a lot of your Nigerians, not Nigerians, but your Ethiopian and Kenyans, and you get into those longer races, some of them have been pretty dominant. You see them coming forth in those 5,000s. 1,500 is kind of in the mid before they really get into their depth. But yeah, man, it's been pretty dope to watch that. Also, Bill and Bennett says, do you guys feel this year's Olympics should have been an asterisk, or should have had an asterisk beside it because the Russians didn't participate? I think there's some geopolitical stuff that's involved with that as to the purposes and the reason why potentially that they did not do so. So yeah, no, Mississippi Mud Dog, I will not be telling them that. But he doesn't think Serbia has a chance in HE double hockey sticks to do anything with the U.S. So we're going to leave it at that, Mississippi Mud Dog. Thank you guys all for chiming in on that. We're going to take another break. We'll come back with another segment. I think this will be an interesting one. I think you should stick around for this. We'll come back. Stay with us on the block.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Are you looking to get into the electrical construction industry or wanting a new scene? The Electrical Workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Not many businesses can say they've made it 60 years, but Madsen's Bowling and Billiards can. With 12 bowling lanes and the biggest pool room in Nebraska, where else would you go to enjoy an afternoon or evening? There's a great daily specials like $2 Tuesdays, games of bowling, shoe rentals, draft beers, and tacos, all just $2 each. Have a delicious burger at EJ's Lounge before or after your bowling or pool session, and you'll leave satisfied. Madsen's Bowling and Billiards at 47th and Dudley.
Garage doors can be expensive. Are you keeping yours in the best condition possible? This is Cameron Hall with Doors Plus. Doors Plus is a locally owned business that prides itself on the fast, reliable, and friendly service. Doors Plus offers flexible scheduling so you can book an appointment that fits your busy day. My team and I will come out to your property, both commercial and residential, and provide you with the necessary information you need to make sure your garage door is in working and smooth condition. Give Doors Plus a call today at 402-590-5800 to book an appointment and learn more about our preventative maintenance plans. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
All right, it's time for Final Jeopardy. It's been a tight contest today that all comes down to this final question. No summer picnic or family get-together or trip to the lake is complete without this particular item. Let's go first to Bob.
What is beer?
No, that's not it. Think about the kids. Over to you, Farley.
What is corn on the cob?
Tough to grill that on a boat. Wrong again. Grace, this time for the win.
What is Bure's cheese spread?
We have a winner! Bure's cheese spread, available in most local grocers in Nebraska.
Our lives only have so much time. But if you smoke, you have less. Your life could be 10 years shorter. And the time you do have is often filled with health problems. Shortness of breath, asthma, COPD, and cancer. But the minute you quit, your body starts healing.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Do you have gently used books just waiting to be given new life in the hands of new readers? Linked to Literacy can help. We're gathering books for our second annual Wordstock event at Antelope Park on August 24th. It's a community-wide book swap where people can shop for free books and enjoy fun activities. From now until August 19th, you can drop off your book donations at several locations throughout Lincoln. So gather up books for both kids and adults and find a collection site near you at linktoliteracy.org. Then plan to join the fun on August 24th.
Early break with Sip and Jake.
Can you guys just keep a straight face?
Yes. Unlikely, yes. But we'll try. Okay.
We're just three players talking. Come on, let's try this.
This is how the sugar goes. You're driving to Wichita, writing this down.
You're not helping anything.
Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket.
It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier Kawasaki dealership. Score up to $2,000 off the brand new Kawasaki Ridge. Built for work or play, the Kawasaki Ridge takes off-road comfort to a whole new level. Rule the streets on an Indian motorcycle with customer cash and trade-in credits up to $2,000 during the month of August. On or off-road, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered with a large selection of motorcycles and side-by-sides in stock at their new 27th and I-80 location. Hurry in, the clock is running down.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see mainly sunny skies and warmer temperatures with a high around 88. Tonight, a chance of showers and thunderstorms with a low around 66. And tomorrow, a continued chance of showers and storms, otherwise partly sunny with a high around 79. I'm meteorologist Kyle Klecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
NEPCO is hiring CDL drivers for ready mixed concrete, Husker Concrete, and Beatrice Concrete. NEPCO offers great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and they pay for CDL training. Apply today and start your new career with a $2,500 hiring bonus. From NEPCO's beginning in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
The captain for Sean Jackson.
How about the top board game? But I think week 2, Colorado, of course. You got prime time coming in, and you want to shut him up because if he comes into Lincoln and figures out a way to get a win, you will never hear the end of it. And then I think week 9, Ohio State. Who are we as a football team at that point. But if we go in there and actually compete and give ourselves an opportunity to win, now you got to be talking about us. We got to be in the contention. Week 12, you come back, you're at USC. And then I think week 14 at Iowa, drop the Iowa game. That's a bad look because that's the last taste that you get in your mouth before the bowl game.
This is area race announcer James Rowland. Join me and Bree Fan Steel every Sunday night from 7 to 8 on 93.7 The Ticket for the Finish Line, where we cover all things motorsports from local racing to racing around the world. Every Sunday night from 7 to 8 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Two segments ago here on the block, 2 segments left. Thank you guys for staying with us. With the reunion of Strick and Bach, the original OGs of On the Block, together for the next couple of days in the absence of Austin. Bach, I'm throwing this out to the Sauter Heyman text line as well as to the stream, because this segment is going to be a cool one, I think, bro. I really do, man. I'm excited about it because the question is, what hurts worse? I'm not talking about going into the ring with Gervonta Davis or Bud Crawford and taking a 1-2 combination to the dome. I'm not talking about that. The body blow to the kidney. I'm not talking about getting in the ring with a UFC fighter and, you know, getting a triangle choke or a rear naked choke. I ain't talking about that. I want to know what hurts worse in a sporting situation. And I'm going to share this one specifically first. And Bach's going to throw me a couple as well. I'm going to throw you guys a couple because this just happened. Astro starter, Framber Valdez, he loses a no-hitter. He had a no-hitter going with 2 outs left. I'm sorry, with 2 outs, not left, but with 2 outs in the 9th inning. Had a 2-run homer from Corey Seager put on him. All he had to do was get a ground ball, my boy. All he had to do was get a fly ball. He got a dinger hit on him. Not only was it a hit, but it was a dinger on the verge of a no-hitter. So here's the question, 402-464-5685, or also on the stream. What hurts worse? Having the no-hitter lost by home run, or striking out in a World Series with 2 men on 2nd and 3rd and 1 out? What hurts worse?
That's a good question. I think for context, too, it is important to note that he already has a no-hitter under his belt, so that does help a little bit if you're feeling bad for him less than a year ago. But certainly a no-hitter with 2 outs, being ruined in any way, a single, a blooper, it doesn't matter, is tough. A home run is especially tough there, though, too. Because of the context, though, to it, I would say probably the World Series game, just because there's, that's going to be a moment that's important and memorized forever among the fan base. A regular season game, that's special to you, right? There's plenty of them, but your no-hit bid, that's something that's going to kind of rock you, and keep you up at night long after your career. I get that. But I would say at least, it might bother you more so than the fan base.
Yeah, I would say the pressure in that situation where you have 2nd and 3rd, 2 outs, you're the guy up. I mean, at least you want to put the ball in play, make them have to make a play at first. You're going to be the hero. Like I'm reminded of a time where, people ask me about the sport of choice, why I chose basketball over baseball, so forth and so on. I've had sport choices that hurt me. I've had a couple that hurt me. One of them was, remember, I went out for football. I was going to play for the Huskers, and I ended up deciding to go a different route and go the basketball route. And guess what the Huskers did that year, Bach?
Won a title?
They won a freaking national championship. Strickland could have got one of them. All I had to do was stay around, stay true to the course, and I would have got one of them. Okay, cool. I'm on the Florida Marlins. I'm on a trajectory path to go towards the major league team. And one of my teammates, his name was Edgar Renteria. He was a shortstop. He was a phenomenal shortstop. I knew he was going to make it. Everybody saw he had the talent. But at the end of the day, I chose to go basketball. If I would have stayed with that team, guess what the possibility could have been? Strick could have got a World Series ring, baby. I might have been the right fielder out there. That man up to bat, all of it on the line. He hits a single up the middle to win the World Series. Like, that is the dopest, but it hurt me because I made a choice and I didn't make the right one in my heart. So that's one. Let's go to another one. Sutter Heyman text line, tell us what hurts worse for you. Here's one, Bach. We just saw a race in the 100-meter dash. It was 0.005 of a second, and Keyshawn Thompson believed everything in his heart that he had won that race, only to find out at the last second, last moment, there was just a little extra chest that was out there before you lose the 100. Does it hurt worse to lose at the tape like he did, or to be disqualified because you false started at the biggest event of your life, and that's running for any type of championship, and you false start?
Boy, you'd be quite frustrated with yourself if you're false starting. So I can understand that, but it would, you'd feel like in a way that you blew your chance, but you wouldn't feel, quite like you just had, like you're saying, these are milliseconds. Like if I just maybe extended my arm or something, a little bit more there at the end. Man, so that's a tough one. I think you'd be really frustrated with yourself, but you wouldn't quite know how close you were to actually winning if you jumped the gun. So I would probably go with at the end. If you lose at the tape, you don't feel like you didn't give it your all or anything. I mean, you know you were right there for it, but that's almost the part of it that's even more hurtful, is that your best was so close to good enough that it just quite wasn't.
Right, just quite wasn't. I think I have to agree with you. Like, listen, don't shake my hand. Don't say nothing to me. We might get to boxing, because I might be real heated at that, man. I might be going over to the camera crew and saying it's a conspiracy theory. I'd be throwing out all kinds of stuff in protest. I'd be heated. That would be one that would I would be difficult. I mean, I would be truly upset by. Now, here's the last one. I'm going to throw out, and I want to hear a couple of yours. Bob, would you be more hurt by having a butt-naked 3 in the corner to win a national championship or an or a finals in Game 7, or to lose by a Hail Mary shot from 3/4 court and you lose the game for the championship? You have the shot, and you say you shoot threes and you make them. You're butt naked for the 3 to win the game, or you lose by a Hail Mary 3/4 shot. Which one hurts worse?
Oh man, I mean, you're obviously personally disappointed in yourself if you miss it, but I think for a lot of shooters have somewhat been in that situation, right? Like you said, it kind of gets to the point where you're putting the most stakes on the line, NCAA championship game or NBA finals or whatever. So it would be a miss that would go down in history. But I think a lot of shooters have missed open threes for wins, or at least threes for wins, and you got to get back out there. I just can't imagine having the game won and having it stolen from you by a prayer that was being thrown up. It's kind of similar to a Hail Mary, I guess, in football. So, man, I part of me wants to think that. But just the personal level that it's the responsibility is on you, and that your team, I think that would hurt more, because your teammates would have been involved in getting you open. Like, everybody would have been happy with the look that you got, including yourself. It's everything you trained for, and you didn't quite get it in. I'd have to say the miss open 3 in the corner.
Wow. Okay, I think I would be devastated. I think I would fall and crumple like just wilt like a freaking flower in the midst of a hot day sun in Dallas or even Nebraska right now. If that long three-quarter court went down and we ended up losing because of that, I would be just I don't know if I could talk for a week if that happened.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you, but at least when something like that happens, at least you can go, well, gosh, I guess it just wasn't meant to be. I mean, this is ridiculous. You can kind of curse at the gods at least, but if it's you that misses the shot, you're looking at your own hands, you're thinking about what your mind's. So it really just, I don't know. I'd rather
So
be yelling
you
at the gods than at myself.
so you become the GOAT, and I'm not talking about the greatest of all time. You become the GOAT, the garble GOAT, if you missed a wide open three and you're a pretty good shooter. Yeah, I agree with you, man. You can't even walk and show your face. That's kind of like when like I said this a while ago about when Nate Robinson got face planted in that celebrity boxing thing.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
I would have went to Tibet. I would have went to Tibet and been a monk for about 3 years if that happened to me. That's how hurt I would have been. But what you got for me, Bob? You got something for me?
Oh, well, I can bring one along for Husker fans because I think it's always good to go back and Nebraska lost in so many different ways over the last 7 years. But the ones that I kind of thought about was losing on a Hail Mary in football. Man, it's similar to that basketball situation you just pointed out. And this happened to Nebraska fans. They remember the BYU game, the opening of Mike Riley, losing on a Hail Mary or losing when you're up 28-17 in the middle of the third quarter and deciding to onside kick it.
Right. I'll throw for me, man, that hurt, that onside kick decision, because I'm sitting in that stadium, Bach, at that point in time, and I'm like, what the freak are we like? What like Bach, I wanted to throw fisticuffs. And I'm talking about with the coaching staff. Like I wanted to go into the locker room and get pissed when I saw how dumb we lost that game to Northwestern. It was man, I was just hurt by the decisions that were made there. So I have to agree with you on that. Couple quick things off the Starter Heyman text line. Unnamed texter 2280 says, how about losing 100 by a torso lean or winning the bronze on the floor exercise and getting it stripped by a point inquiry? Yeah, bro. Yeah, that was pretty deep. But shout out to for that happening. That getting that extra, I think, 10th of a point or something like that in order to, that would hurt. Those are two hurtful ones for me. Lemon on the Sutter Heyman text line says false start would hurt worse. He said, you did all that training and didn't even get a chance to compete. Like you didn't even get a chance to see if you could torso lean. You basically ended it right there on the spot. Yeah, that's a tough one. Jeremy, the Grill Master, says down by 1 in the World Series, bases loaded and 1 out, and you hit into a double play. Oh
man, yeah, that'd be pretty rough.
Yeah. What else on the text line box do we got?
Yeah, just kind of looking through it, see if there's anything else. 0177 says selfishly the no-hitter would hurt worse the team player and as a team player than the World Series. So just a couple thoughts there. But yeah, it's interesting. I wanted to ask you this because I've always kind of wondered this, at the higher level. Obviously, if these games stack up, it's worse. But throughout your career, did you have more of a tough time of like when you guys won, but you struggled individually, right? You just didn't have a good game, but the team wins, or you have a pretty good game, you show out, but you lose. What was more to kind of bounce back from?
Wow, that's a good question, Bach. For me, I always played hard. And so, having a good game and losing, that's a difficult one, but it was one that I knew I didn't get all geeked up about because I knew that we took the L. I would say winning the game and not having a good game, it didn't really disappoint me to the point. It disappointed me personally, but I was happy. Like I was happy that we won the game, but for me, it's not always about shooting. And this is why I could always have a pretty good feeling about a contribution. Maybe I took some charges in the game. Maybe I got a big rebound in the game, but I felt like I still contributed, even though I didn't necessarily shoot the ball well or play well. So it was just for me to get out of my head and get back to just focusing on my training and just doing the things right and knowing that it will get better. Same thing in baseball. You have slumps, man. And even though the team wins, you had a slump. It can be a disappointing feeling, but you just have to get back out there and put in the work and perform.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, you just can't have too many of those stack up because then they're going to start looking
Yeah.
at you.
Yeah. And you don't want to show it because you've seen sometimes people sitting on the sidelines and they have these funny looks on their face because they weren't participating. I mean, we saw it with Scottie Pippen and Kukoc, right?
Yeah.
Scottie Pippen, had taken over for Michael Jordan, and they happen to call a play. It works out. They win the game. Big win for them, but Scottie was pissed off about it. And so we see it happening quite a bit in sports. You just don't want to show it.
Yeah.
You don't want to be that guy, at the end of the day. So there it is. Great stuff. We're going to get out of here. One last segment left. We'll cross it over with DP or Jay or both right after this. 93.7 The Ticket. We'll be right back.
Nebco is hiring CDL drivers for ready-mixed concrete, Husker Concrete, and Beatrice Concrete. Nebco offers great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and they pay for CDL training. Apply today and start your new career with a $2,500 hiring bonus. From Nebco's beginning in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
Keep summer green with Judson Baleen and Judson Irrigation. More than 40 years ago, Judson Irrigation started taking in orphans. Lawn sprinkler systems installed by a quickie, cheapy summer job, install them and forget them outfit, long forgotten. Call Judson Irrigation. They'll never forget you.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
A new school year is here with summer coming to an end, and it's time to get into proper shoes. Brown Shoe Fit is the place to buy this August with their sale on athletic shoes. Get $15 off any regular priced athletic shoe with respected brands like Hoka, Brooks, New Balance, and On Running. Don't forget, Browns carries a large arrangement of sizes and widths to fit your feet properly. Start the fall season off right with the August athletic shoe sale at Brown Shoe Fit, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln. Ready to score big with your projects? Look no further than Edward Stone, the MVP of natural stone for over 2 decades. Edward Stone is cranking out over 30,000 square feet every week and offers a winning lineup of over 70 quality natural veneer stone selections. Their unbeatable variety and experienced team will ensure your project is a success, whether it's a home renovation or a commercial build. And hey, they're not just about stone. They've got an all-star lineup of fireplaces, cast stone, brick, and much more. Swing by one of their locations in Lincoln or Omaha today and experience the Edward Stone difference, your reliable choice for over 20 years.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Liberty Law Group is committed to the defense of liberty for those accused and the pursuit of justice for those injured. Liberty Law Group's relentless trial attorneys specialize in criminal defense and personal injury law. We believe in treating every client with respect, compassion, and understanding. We know that navigating the legal system is stressful and overwhelming, but Liberty Law Group will carry that burden for you. When you're facing legal issues, make the right call. 877-42-LIBERTY. That's 877-42-LIBERTY.
MWR is dedicated to building attractive, affordable steel buildings that exceed your expectations. From commercial or residential to agricultural storage, steel buildings are cost-effective, attractive, and versatile. Plus, they're a lasting investment and an ideal choice. MWR uses Sentinel Building Systems out of Albion and can service you all over the state and region. If you have interest in a steel building, post frame building, or fencing, give MWR a call today at 402-980-5273 or go to mwrbuildingandfence.com. Are you looking to get into the electrical construction industry or wanting a new scene? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Garage doors can be expensive. Are you keeping yours in the best condition possible? This is Cameron Hall with Doors Plus. Doors Plus is a locally owned business that prides itself on the fast, reliable, and friendly service. Doors Plus offers flexible scheduling so you can book an appointment that fits your busy day. My team and I will come out to your property, both commercial and residential, and provide you with the necessary information you need to make sure your garage door is in working and smooth condition. Give Doors Plus a call today at 402-590-5800 to book an appointment and learn more about our preventative maintenance plans. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see mainly sunny skies and warmer temperatures with a high around 88. Tonight, a chance of showers and thunderstorms with a low around 66. And tomorrow, a continued chance of showers and storms, otherwise partly sunny, with a high around 79. I'm meteorologist Kyle Kleck for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You don't think about your roof very often, but you should never take it for granted. Roofing Service Company takes every measure to provide you with the highest quality roofing solution. Whether it's a new roof installation, roof repair, or a re-roofing project, their overall goal is to provide you with a pleasant experience and a long-lasting roof. If you have a need for siding or gutters, they're your place too. Visit roofingservicecompany.com for more info today.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red.
Ready to add a dash of Southern flavor to your week? At Wings and Rings, their brand new Southern fried wings have arrived for a limited time. Indulge in the irresistible goodness of large, traditional bone-in wings coated in a crispy beer batter and fried to perfection. Try them with hot honey or any other sauces. And for those busy summer days coming up, look no further than their Southern Fried Wings Family Bundle. Wings and Rings, 2 Lincoln locations on O Street or Village Lane.
On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Right, Matt Rule wants to be there. He wants to develop them. He wants to have coaches that have their hands on, are molding them and shaping them. And to your point, giving them the drills, giving them the tools to succeed. But I think Matt Rule is saying at the end of the day, the coaches can't want it more than the players.
Yeah.
The coaches
they
can't hold their hand on the field.
Yeah, they can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Weekdays from 2 to 4 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Final segment here on the block. Bach is in studio with the man with the master plan, DPZ, in the building. DP, I just dropped some hot sauce on him, and I'm going to drop it on you. How you doing today, my friend?
Sirski, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening?
Man, doing good, my friend. Doing good. Feeling good. Doing good, man. Just good to be back.
That's what Dak said. Here we go.
DP, I dropped some hot sauce on Bach in the last segment, man, because what happened and the way it started, and this is how it popped into my head, because these type of situations can really hurt. And you being a former player and being around sports, you've seen so much happen over the course of your years, and just the craziness watching Utah and Jordan hitting the game winners on Brian Russell and Elo. You've seen all of these, and there's multitudes of those that have happened. But an Astro starter, Framber Valdez, he is on the verge of a no-hitter. He has 2 outs. It's in the 9th. They're up 4-0, and he gets a dinger hit on him, and is not able to solidify the no-hitter. Now, I threw this out. I said, what hurts worse? If you have that happen to you where you're on the verge of, obviously others have done it before, but that's one of those things that just rarely happens. It's like the cycle. It's like hitting for the cycle in baseball. It's a rare occurrence. And he's on the verge of it. He's 1 out away. Fly ball, strikeout, ground ball, and he gets dung on. Now, what hurts worse? That or being in the World Series, you have 2 men on base, second and third. It's 2 outs. You're up to bat. You got to put something in play. Got to put something and drop it in. You got to figure out how to put one in the hole, pause. You got a lot of stuff that you need to do to try to win a World Series. What hurts worse? You striking out in that situation or losing out on a freaking no-hitter?
Well, first of all, for Valdez, there's several things in play. One, that he threw a no-hitter a year ago last night. So something in the food on his birthday or whatever works for him. The second, the part that made it really painful was that he had 2 walks in the 9th inning. One eventually led to a double play ball, but then he walked the guy before Corey Seager, which look, the one dude I don't want to see 5 times, 4 times in a no-hit effort is Corey Seager. Mm-hmm. Like, the baseball guys are like, I'm going to let you get away with that first walk with this double play ball. You walk another dude, you're really not trying. You're really not trying. But here's the thing. The striking out with runners in scoring position in the World Series means that you failed in full. Valdez won last night's game. If you said to him 2 days ago, hey, you're going to pitch a 1-hitter 8 2/3 inning, he doesn't care what else you say to him. The answer is yeah, I want that. If you can't put the ball in play as a Major League Baseball player, I don't care who's throwing. If it's a Aroldis Chapman and he just did a Charlie Sheen, I'm going to throw up a wild thing. I'm going to throw the first pitch behind you. I'm still going to find a way to put the ball in play, even if I bunt it right back to him. What I'm not going to do is strike out, because striking out there's a way to put. We used to have entire practices of 2-strike hitting, just for that very reason, that I never wanted it to come down to that. And that was how it worked. So, yeah, if you struck out in the World Series with 2 on, that is a forever kind of regret and pain, especially for a major league hitter.
Yeah, I'll tell you one person that wouldn't have struck out in that situation is Tony Gwynn. That's one person that you would have to be more worried about where he's going to hit the ball on you, as opposed to whether or not he's going to strike out in that situation. So
there's a way. Like there's a way. There's a way this works. Joe Carter, Kirby Puckett. We can go through a whole list of guys who found a way. Kirk Gibson, right? That he up there with on one leg in a limp, and he found out something to do with a 2-out, breaking ball. So, or
you have the Bill Buckner situation. Put it in play, baby. You never know what's going to happen.
Well, look, man, we all know the Ray Knight dance down third base. Like, we all know what that looks like. We understand, Mookie is still getting paid. Mookie Wilson is still getting paid. Put it in play. I mean, again, if you're in Chicago, there's a fan that became forever because he extended a game that they end up losing because he put his hands on a ball. Leave it alone, bro. Leave it. Let swat it to the ground. Swat it to the ground. Keep it moving. Yeah, it's always Strick. It's that thing that those moments. I mean, Valdez, the fact that he wasn't a pitcher growing up, that up until I want to say 2018, he was an outfielder. And but he wasn't getting the looks that he thought he deserved. So he said, okay, well, let me throw this thing. Let me throw this thing. And he's got 2 World Series rings and contributed at it. So what he's doing is a story unto itself, because that just doesn't happen. You're not just randomly failing at being a baseball player and then figured out, hey, I'm gonna pitch instead. Oh, okay.
Right.
And to have it work, right? So yeah, baseball's its own weird sport. These things happen way too often.
Last one, DP. I gave this to Bach because Bach says he's the resident 3-point shooter of the of the 93.7 Ticket team.
Cap.
So I threw this one out to him.
Okay.
I said, what would hurt worse? Okay. What would hurt worse, DP? And then we're gonna turn it over and let old school get busy.
Yes, sir.
You're butt naked, 3-point in the corner pocket.
Yep.
For to win the championship, the Natty or the NBA Finals, it's Game 7. You're butt naked.
Yep.
And you got this shot, and it's you and the rim to win it.
Yep.
What hurts worse, that or getting a 3/4 court Hail Mary thrown and you end up losing it? So you're in control to win it, or you just end up losing it by a Hail Mary. What hurts worse?
Oh, it absolutely hurts worse to go butt naked and miss it. The universe was against me on the other one. Me butt naked in the corner means I just look, man. I need to reassess some stuff. Like you did the Reggie Miller to Spike Lee. You gonna leave it? See, I'm a gooseneck it anyway because I'm thinking it's going down. That's gonna be the worst part for Strick. Is that I think it's going down. I'm okay. Say it right. I'm gonna. No,
you're gonna Lance Stevenson. You're gonna Lance Stevenson and turn around as if you made it.
Like you're absolutely winning. I'm gonna Steph Curry. Like I'm gonna shimmy facing the other way. Like I'm gonna do all of that, and they're gonna be looking at me like, bro, you ain't even hit the rim.
Remember that happened with the Cavs in the finals a few years ago when you talk about making the right play, and LeBron hits Kyle Korver in the corner for an open 3 and he misses it. So what do you do?
It happens. Yeah. It happens to the best. Steph Curry can rattle off 10 of the open shots that cost them a game that he didn't hit.
Oh yeah.
And because it exists. So yeah, but if somebody hits a 3/4 court, look, their steps are ordered. We were just actors in the game, bro. We were just actors in the play. We were just out there. The universe already had told him he was gonna win. That he was gonna win. Yeah.
DP, what y'all got going on the old school today, my guy?
Well, first of all, I got to find out who I'm with today. Like, I don't even know who I'm. Is it you, Bach? Is it you or is it Harrison?
It's Harrison.
Okay, well then, because those are different conversations. Like, if it's Jay, it's one conversation. Harrison, Austin, they're all different conversations. So if it's Harrison, me and Harrison will go all the way down the rabbit hole. Buckle up. Who knows what we're going to talk about in the next 2 hours?
There it is. There it is. Old school will be next after we get out of here. On the block, Stricky will be back in studio tomorrow. Man, I missed Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul today. So you talk about being hurt.
I'll save you some.
Hurt.
I'll save you some.
God. There it is. Look out for Old School next. On the block, we'll be back mañana. We'll see you then. Peace.